Reign of the Seven Spellblades episode 4 was pretty damn hype. It went hard, it went real hard, which is really great because when I seen the previews for this particular spot in the series, I really wasn't sure what I thought about it. I kind of felt a little bit of a twinge of bad CGI, but no, it all kind of went well together. The only thing that I really had like a irk moment was that one moment where she gets thrown against the pillar, and it doesn't quite look like she's connecting to this CGI, obviously CGI environment. But other than that, like the rest of it looked really, really good. And I mean, it was a really heavy fight. I mean, they did a really good job of kind of portraying just how screwed up the situation is. I think that it's very difficult for most fantasy series or whatnot to really kind of convey this sense of dread. Like, what we're up against right now is going to kill us. Like, there is no chance we're going to be able to defeat this thing. I mean, you get a sense from that because pretty much everybody's just standing around like idiots. Again, that is the only other thing that kind of bugs me a little bit is you just have him like mowing down all these students and they're just standing there. And then this one gets knocked out and they're just standing there and they get knocked out. And then, like, they keep popping up. It's like all these students just somehow keep popping up in front of this guy, and they're just standing there. And it does give you a little bit of a sense of, like, can we just have them at least trying something? Like, their wands up in the air or something, like showing that they're trying to cast something. But that aside, it was a really good episode. I think at the core of what I kind of like about this episode is it sort of portrayed three different conflicts, three different vantage points of the same situation through Oliver, Nanao, and Andrews. So I'll get into that when we get to that segment, but yes, let's dive into this episode. Yeah, open up the episode, we have Katie trying to feed the troll, and obviously everybody mocking Katie for trying to feed the troll. Again, kind of hitting heavy on the idea that most people in this society, seems like, doesn't like these demi-humans, and anybody that's kind to a demi-human, yes, gets the usual bullying. You know, she smells like trolls, she might as well live with them. She probably talks to trolls so much that she's forgotten how to speak human tongue. I was a little bit mixed on how the scene in the classroom really kind of plays out, because again, it is pretty much everybody realizing that if they speak up, it's just going to cause more conflict. That is kind of a difficulty thing in bullying in general, is this idea that if you don't say anything, it's just going to continue on, but if you say something or you step in, it's only going to make it worse. And yes, sure enough, it makes it worse. By them intervening, it seems, according to Shella, that they've kind of made themselves the enemy of pretty much all the first years. The reason why I'm conflicted by this particular scene is because, yes, they're confronting Katie, and they're really berating her. And Oliver, even though he said initially, no, we don't want to get involved, we don't want to make this worse, he still steps forward. It makes sense to Oliver, like, I'm not going to sit here and stand by while my friend is being berated. He already said that he was going to stand by her. They were all going to stand by her side. The problem that comes from the scene is, like, how far he goes. Like, literally blowing them up and then starting this whole fight. There's just a side of me that almost believes that what I've gotten a hint of from Oliver is that that's not a way that he would normally resolve things, but at the same time, it's sort of hinting at this point that Oliver has another side to him. I've always assumed, eventually we'll find out, that Oliver is something super special. Like, he was probably a child soldier at some point. He's got the seventh Spellblade. There's gonna be something super special about Oliver, which kind of makes me surprised that he hasn't revealed that yet in the face of something like the Garuda. But it seems to indicate that there's something special about him. He says later when they're in detention that, yes, I couldn't help myself. Something came over me. I lost control of myself. It's indicating that he wasn't intending that, but he couldn't help himself. He kind of snapped, is really what it's kind of implying. But yes, they get lured deep inside of the labyrinth where they're supposed to go to this Colosseum. And when they arrive there, it doesn't seem like Andrews wants to actually fight them in a duel, because they're lower than me. Sure. They're going to have a match to see who can hunt down the most kobolds, which seems like in the lore of this world, hunting kobolds is like a pastime for mages. But it seems like it's been going out of style because of all the advocates. I really love Nanao here. Like, this, I think, technically is the first time we've really seen her kind of snap. I mean, obviously, based on the reaction of everybody, it was the first time that she snapped. Just her yelling at all the hecklers. Her yelling at all the crowd about how they're all having fun watching this guy literally force a kobold to fight. And yes, from the perspective of a battle-worn warrior, that's obviously going to upset her. This is something that's not really going to take lightly, to seeing a bunch of people cheering on something they're not involved with, but additionally, cheering on the killing of something that is forced to fight. Something that's forced into the battlefield. That's obviously something somebody that's been on the battlefield their whole life is going to be really ticked off about. You're all a bunch of cowards, you're disgraceful. But yes, that's when the Garuda shows up. Obviously planted Garuda. Let's all be perfectly clear, this Garuda was planted. It obviously seems like nobody knew that that Garuda was down there, so obviously somebody planted there. It seems to indicate, based on the final scene of the episode, that some person in silver hair with a hoodie on is the one that's behind it. Vera? I hope not. I hope it's not that obvious that it's Vera. This is kind of one of those difficult things when they actually show some of their hair or something like that, and it's like, ooh, who could it be? It's Vera. It could be. Now, granted, Vera has sort of like a bunch of hair over one eye, and when you see the hood over, all you really do is see one strand of hair on the sides and the hair on the back. Not any hair in front of the face. So it could be Vera, maybe just having her hair up or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of pointing at the idea that even though Vera was this person who was trying to console Katie, that she likes demi-humans too, it's probably more of an aspect that she uses demi-humans. Like, she's good with demi-humans because she's always forcing them to do things. So she likes demi-humans to use them. Not like Katie, who just wants them to be free. Which, okay, we'll see. But at the same time, that would explain why the troll isn't too keen on being friendly with Katie. Now, there is a sense that the troll could be still messed up a little bit. It could be just the innate feelings of the troll that it just doesn't want to be friends with humans. It could be the aspect that because it harmed Katie, it's afraid of getting close to Katie. Or it could be because Vera's right behind Katie and he smells something on Vera. Like, this girl behind this girl that's trying to feed me is bad news. I don't want to have anything to do with these two. But we'll see. But no, like I said, the actual Garuda fight itself was really epic. I like that it, again, really quickly gives you a sense of dread. I like how pretty much the kobolds themselves are freed as well. And not only that, but having the Garuda kind of coming out and it spells out something. I'm assuming the Garuda is talking. It could be something like a message, a spell that creates a message, but it's all to say, what does it feel like to be the ones hunted? Like, you're sitting here hunting the kobolds over and over again. You're having fun killing them in this arena. How does it feel? Again, it kind of twists everything around and really gives a sense of dread. But additionally, yes, having literally what feels like, I don't know, 50 kids died there. I don't know how permanent this is. I don't know. We won't probably know until the next episode if, like, I don't know, we kind of find out that like half the student body is dead. I don't know how many people are in the school. I don't know if they mention how many people are in the school itself. But a lot of people died. So I'm going to guess there's a lot of empty classrooms. But who knows? Extras are just kind of things that spawn. And they keep spawning, and they just keep dying. Which is always a mixed bag for me. Like, creating extras just for the sake of showing how dreaded a situation is, rather than showing how dreaded it is with the characters themselves, is always a difficult mix. But yes, I like what it sort of creates here is the question of the three perspectives. The three perspectives on the conflict itself. Obviously, everybody wants to run from this thing. It's a divine level beast or something like that, a divine beast familiar. So it's completely out of everybody's league. So everybody's either fleeing or they're standing in front of the Garuda waiting for it to punch them. But the three perspectives here is, yes, while at first Oliver's like, we need to get the hell out of here. This is not good. We can't fight this thing. Nano is the first perspective. As a samurai, once I'm on the battlefield, I can't flee. Like, I don't get to choose my enemy. I just have to pray that I will be victorious. So she jumps right into battle. Like, she doesn't even hesitate. Let's go. Let's do this. And I mean, to her credit, you're not getting out of there. It seems like they've all indicated that you cannot get out of this building, so what's the point in sitting there banging on the door? Turn and fight. Obviously, Andrews, at first, is the perspective of, just get the hell out. Find somewhere to hide. You can't beat this thing, you might as well hope that it doesn't find you. And then Oliver is the third perspective of, okay, now that my friend's involved, I was going to flee, but now my friend's involved, because I have friends here, I have to fight. I have no choice. And towards the later part, Andrew's perspective obviously changes to fighting for your own honor, but additionally, fighting to meet one's expectations. It's like in that whole scene with Andrews and Oliver. He's thinking like, why are you fighting? Why are you not afraid? Why are you not running? He's like, I am afraid. I don't think Anano is afraid. She's just out there fighting. But I need to help her because I want to help her learn what it is to be ordinary. She's out there because she's not ordinary. And I want to help her, and then hopefully in the future, I'll make her understand what it is like to be ordinary. But additionally, I like the aspect of him telling him she was looking forward to seeing how you fight. Nano wants to see how everybody fights. She wants to see the style of everybody's blade. She wants to fight people. That's what she gets joy from. And again, like I said, that sort of is the two aspects of Andrews and how he changes his character. Yes, we're fixing Andrews in this episode. He has to become a part of the harem. I knew that he was going to have a redemption arc. But again, it kind of hits partly on the idea that I don't want to be a failure because I don't want to be an embarrassment to the name of Andrews. This is essentially what Shella was talking about. All that expectation is upon him and he can't help it. That's why he's a jerk, because he's afraid of failing. But again, his courage comes out. partly because he doesn't want to be that failure, but it also seems like because he wants to meet Nanoo's expectations. That's what he was kind of hoping for. Which, yes, is sort of tied in with his own expectations for the names of the Andrews clan, but it also is to the people in front of him. I did like the little passing comment by Shell on the idea that it's great to see you be wonderful again. Like, it does give a hint that these two have had a past, and that she, at some point, he was a cool dude. That's kind of what she gave a hint to when she was talking to Oliver about him. He used to be a good guy, but all this expectation ruined him. But again, the fight was pretty cool. I will admit that I was kind of hoping that it would have a couple more, I guess, segments to it. Like, extend it a little bit more. Because the moment they kind of decide, okay, let's do this, I'm going to make a blind spot free to hit. Okay, the blind spot messes up. I guess I'll just kind of sacrifice myself to give you an opportunity. And that's when Andrews jumps in. But it kind of just really came down to a little bit of distraction and then just super powered Nanoo. So I was kind of hoping that it would have a couple more dire moments in it. Because again, they kind of established that this thing is a divine level familiar. Like, this thing should be impossible for them to kill. Make it feel impossible to kill. Yes, it sort of gives credit to it because technically Nanoo is a warrior. She's been fighting most of her life. So, but it still felt a little bit easy. But still, great fight, great animation, just constantly all over the place, crazy swings, magic, all that kind of stuff. It was really cool. I did like this fight. It does give me a lot of promise for the future. As per usual, we'll see how things wrap up in the next episode because, again, a lot of students died, and I'm sure that somebody's going to have to take heat for it. Andrews is the one that set it up, so I don't know how he's going to get away with not getting completely ruined for this, but again, we'll see. It's done okay with this kind of aspect so far. I don't know why I want repercussions so much. I'm sorry, it's just like a thing that keeps popping in my head. I'm expecting repercussions in an academy. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, Patreon link, tips link, super thanks button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody it does, and y'all take care.